kind of was sinking in that, like, maybe I wouldn't be a CFL player. Maybe I wouldn't be a professional football player anymore. Probably one of the most devastating experiences of my life, you know, like your dream, your whole kind of life's work is coming to fruition, and it's anticlimactic.
My name is John Rush, middle linebacker for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and this is my story.
Probably around the age of 10 or 11, I really took that on as, I'm going to be a professional football player, and ever since then it's been pretty much my ultimate goal in life. Me and my brother, we always used to play with each other, and he's 2 years older than me, so I'm super competitive. I always wanted to beat him at everything, and he got interested in football, so I obviously took it up as well. And we would always play in the backyard, and he was 2 years older, so he's always bigger than me at the same time, so he was consistently beating me. But at the end of the day, I was always like, one day I'm going to beat him. My dad really put it in our brains that, if you want to be great at something, all you have to do is believe it. My dad really kind of ingrained that in us, and he really supported us in anything we were doing. Like, he wanted us to be great and to achieve success. I'm the first one in my family to go to university and graduate. It was a pretty difficult decision to make for us, but at the end of the day, Guelph kind of just felt like home. The coaches really understood me and what I wanted to accomplish in university, and they really provided me with the opportunities to succeed.
As a person, a guy that isn't afraid to lead, wasn't afraid to kind of face adversity and kind of face some backlash, being a young leader as a 17-year-old true freshman, getting a chance to start in his first year. So he really wasn't afraid to kind of take on the role of a middle linebacker and kind of personify that kind of cowboy kind of mentality that you need to have there, and backed it up.
With Alex Taylor, Marshall coming to the short side, play action, Bohm will run again. He's surrounded and dropped by John Rush right at the line of scrimmage. Another example of Rush's ability to flow to the football.
You always hear about Adrian Peterson tearing his ACL, or like guys in the league always getting these injuries, but that'll never happen to me. You're always kind of like pushing it off because you have to. If you played scared, you would never be a good football player. I was running down the field, I planted, I turned, and my leg just gave out. I hit the floor, I'm screaming, I'm in pain, but no one really knew what happened. I thought I broke my leg in half. I thought it was like nothing was there anymore. We go into the trainer's room, and they do the ACL test. It comes back negative, so they're like, your ACL is fine. They thought I dislocated my knee, and I would be back in 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll deal with it. Injuries happen. It's football. So I was fine. Like, I was happy. And then a week later, they decided to give me an MRI just in case. So we drove down to Buffalo for the immediate MRI. And 2 days later, I walked in the trainer's room. I'm all excited, hear my MRI results, get cleared to play the next week kind of thing. And the trainer sat me down and was like, John, you tore your ACL. And like at first, I was kind of just like, oh yeah, like, what is it? Like, what's wrong with me? And then she's like, John, you tore your ACL. And when it actually happens to you, you're not prepared to react to it. I was shocked and didn't really know how to react. A lot of people don't come back from an ACL injury, especially not to the same caliber that they were before, right?
Pretty regular, drill in practice, and just went down on it. And I think John faced some adversity in first year that he was able to overcome and helped him mature and kind of made him into the person that he was. This was, some extra adversity that hit him later on, and made him really appreciate, being part of the team, and really appreciate his last few years here that were. Maybe he wouldn't have had the same level of appreciation for if it hadn't been for that injury.
The team found and contacted a rehab specialist out in California and helped me provide assistance to get me out there and rehab out there. And not a lot of people know this about me, but my dad actually cashed in his retirement saving and put off retiring to fund me going and rehabbing in California, because that's how much he believes in me and believes in me achieving my dreams, and that's how much he wants it for me.
When he got back, he was so focused in and so committed to realizing that goal of winning the Yates Cup that it definitely was a huge motivating factor and played into it. It was tough not having him here for during his rehab, and it was tough not having that leadership. But there was a number of guys that stepped up and did a good job. But once he came back, it was just kind of a relief, I think, for everyone.
4th year, 8 months post surgery. It was a little soon. I thought I was Adrian Peterson. I wasn't. I was telling people I was 100% because realistically, for everyday life, my knee was fine. Football is a little different than everyday life, as we know. So, running into 300-pound linemen on a 8-month-old ACL knee it was tough, and I had kind of a lackluster year because of it. I definitely wasn't at the same caliber I was, and it showed. I'll be the first to admit, I wasn't at my best, which was unfortunate, but it is what it is. I came back, I gave it my all. I played in all 8 games. Went to the Yates Cup that year, played in the Yates Cup game. I was determined to come back and play with it, but I obviously wasn't the same. I went undrafted. How do you react to that? It's like the ACL. It's just no one preps you for that because you're not supposed to think about it, and it only makes sense to not think about it and push it away. But when it happens, you're kind of just like, what now? And I remember lying in bed that night, and I made the conscious choice. I'm just I have 2 decisions that I can make here. I'm go back to Guelph, finish my 5th year of eligibility, and play football, and then graduate and start working, making $50K a year in some business somewhere, or I can work my ass off this summer, come back the best player I can be, and give this thing one more shot. With everything that kind of accumulated that year, just as a team alone, we went basically undefeated, losing 1 game by 2 points, and then winning the Yates Cup. I was shocked because the year before was supposed to be our year, and then this year, Western was beating teams by 80 points, stuff like that. We were supposed to go into Western and get basically rolled over.
It's the greatest team sport in the world, but it's played one play at a time, one battle at a time, and it takes 60 minutes. Not 30, not 40, it takes 60 minutes. Win every battle when you're on the field. We've worked long and hard to earn the right for the next 5 hours. Make this 5 hours the best moment of your life today. 5 hours. So you know what we're here for. We're here to go beyond. The final play of regulation. Bone back to pass. Throwing downfield. It's complete, but not enough. Santino is stopped short. The Gryphons have won the Yates Cup on the final play of the game.
player of the game for the 2015 Yates Cup Championship. Your linebacker here is John Rush.
You guys are going to remember this forever and ever.
Western's a tough team. Everyone knows it. You know, they love to run the ball, and I was just banging heads all game. Like last play of the game, I was just relieved that it was over. To be honest, I was like, whoa. Well, that night I won Yates Cup MVP, which is an awesome experience. But at the same time, it was more like a team award than anything, because like our defense was so good that they couldn't account just for me. That they had to account for, you know, Curtis Newton, Tristan Douglin, Mandich, you know, Donnie Eggeter, Derek Trular. You know, when you have so many good players around you, being able to do your own thing and like flow within the defense makes everything so much easier. And being at the center as the middle linebacker just makes it easy, right? So that was more of a defense award than just an individual award. But then, you know, that night or that week, I won the best defensive player in the country, and which was, you know, it was special in my 5th year. You know, winning that, and it was kind of a culmination of going from me tearing my ACL and maybe never playing football again to me, you know, being back and better than I ever was. They gave me things to work on. They explained to me why they were cutting me. I needed to be faster. I needed to work on my special teams abilities, and I'm just like, all right, Winnipeg re-signed me, which was, you know, it's a great experience, but, you know, I kind of took on that mentality that, like, I might, you know, my knee, like, there's nothing I can do about that, but, like, one thing I can control is my effort and, you know, how hard I work on and off the field, and, you know, I was kind of determined to make that show on the field. And you know, I really feel like that all the work kind of started to pay off finally.
4 years ago, when you found out you tore your ACL, did you ever think you'd be in this situation? Another CFL camp and, you know, a good chance of finally cracking a roster?
No, like, you know, no. It's as simple as that, really. Just, I had so many thoughts going on in my mind then that I didn't think this would be possible. I didn't think I'd be in the shape I'm in now, in the position I'm in now, you know, talking about all the things I've been through, and then finally getting back into a camp and getting another shot at becoming a professional football player. It's just, I didn't think I could come this far, like, especially mentally. Like, the mental struggle that you need to endure and the adversity you need to overcome to do all that is huge. But like, if you just, you know, take it one step at a time, you'll get there.